Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we are actually back out here with the worm bins. I have had in-person questions and I've had people messaging me over the top of the big cold front that moved through, asking about the worms and how they were doing, and did we bring them inside so that they didn't freeze and get cold. And to be honest, we still left them in the garage, and that is where they have been since we started. So our weather pattern, and this is important to note if you are considering doing a worm farm, you need to pay attention to the area in which you live. So for us here, we decided to put them in the garage mainly because we have intense heat and intense humidity. So keeping our worms in bins outside was just going to basically broil them, and they would have died in the buckets within a matter of days. So keeping them outside for us was not a wise decision that way. Alternatively, we do have a tendency to drop below zero, usually only for brief periods. We are not normally as cold as we were with this last front that came through. The last front that came through, what did we top out at? Was it like -24 was our lowest?
Wind chill.
That was our lowest with wind chill. So we are not normally ever that cold with wind chill. We could be -5 with the wind chill, but this was a very brief period of very intense cold and high winds for us. So they would also not live or survive in bins outside during the winter. Now, there are areas of the country, California, sections of Arizona, Florida, Georgia, where you could probably keep your worm bins outside year-round without a problem. Worms tend to be happiest in the 60 to 70 degree range, especially if you're looking for production. Now, that being said, here in our garage, we were able to maintain a temperature of around 40 to 50 degrees. Now, they would not be active in the 40 to 50 degree stage. And what I mean by that is they're not going to be in there making the compost. They're not going to be consuming the bio breakdown and developing more of the compost in that cold situation. They're going to kind of be hibernating in that state, but they're not going to die. So that's really what we were shooting for. We are okay with them having a dormant hibernation period as long as they live. That's the main thing that we're shooting for with our worm bins, is that they are alive and healthy and able to be productive during their peak times. Same goes during the summer. There is a period in August where we are just too hot for them to be productive. They will also go dormant and basically hibernate and try and keep cool. They won't be in there consuming all of the bio breakdown that is happening. They'll just go dormant, and that's fine. We're okay with that as long as they can take it and survive and keep reproducing themselves so that we have more bins for our compost in the future. Now, all of that being said, let's go on ahead and take a look in here so that you guys can see what they look like after this cold snap here. So the last time we checked on these bins was the day of the coldest point, which during the day we were at 4 degrees. And then when the wind chill hit that afternoon, we had dropped into the -24. But you can see, so right now we're a little dry, which is not entirely surprising. So I will need to spritz that. We had more of the cold, dry air than we had of inclement weather. We had no icing. We really didn't have a lot of snow cover. So moisture level was low but you can see down in here a little bit closer, we've definitely got some moisture, so that's good. That means that they're down in here where they're hibernating, they are gonna be okay. And the moisture level here in our soil is also good. They will be down deeper than what I'm digging around here. I'm just checking them to make sure that they're not going to need any food, because once they do come out of the hibernation or dormancy period, they're going to be hungry and they're going to get active very, very quickly. So I want to make sure that there is something in here, which you can kind of see there's still some banana left in here. So that's good. Looks like there's still some eggshell in here as well. They need some grit. So I want them, when we warm up here in the next few days, to have something to munch on until I can get back out to them and get some food and more grit in there. All right, so this is our red wriggler bin. We've got two types of worms going. We have red wrigglers in 3 of the bins, and then we have 1 bin of night crawlers. So I want to check on these guys, and these guys happen to be closest to the garage door. So we've been monitoring these guys temperature-wise really closely as well. Also dry on top, that's all right. I'll just spritz with a little bit of room temperature water. Don't want to use cold water, obviously. And they've also got some avocado shell down in here, and looks like some banana peels. They've got some grit. The compost and soil is damp. It forms a not tightly packed ball, but it packs. So that's a good sign. We don't want it too wet, because then it's going to get moldy and mildewy, and that can kill your worms. And we don't want it too dry. Both are bad for the worm babies. So there's just sort of this balance that you have to kind of figure out based upon your area. Now, one other thing that you will probably, I don't know, we'll go on ahead and we'll pan over and show this to you, but we did go to our local home improvement store, and we just got some double reflective insulation. And so it's completely, as you can see, the edges are completely closed. We don't have to worry about any insulation falling down and us getting exposed and touching the insulation, or our dog touching the insulation. But we went on ahead and put the insulation underneath on top of their little shelf here. And then we wrapped each of the bins that you see also in this to help keep them, give them a little bit more thermal insulation and layering. So it is, right now we are at about 53 degrees here in this area. So we've been monitoring with our little thermostat just to make sure what our air temperature is. And then we have also been doing soil temp checks. And our soil temperature checks, we've been coming back, as I said, in the 50-degree area. The lowest, once again, that the air temperature ever got to was 40, but inside our bins, we were still able to maintain them with this insulation around them into the 50-degree area. And all we did was just cut it to size. And then I don't know if you noticed the clips here, but we just have these little clips here, so we can take this off in the warmer months and just put it in a bin, put it on the shelf, and it'll be waiting for us next winter when these guys need some protection again. So really, really simple. We also put some brown paper bags that we had gotten at a grocery store, use them just a little bit as a buffer for when we were opening up the door to the garage to take out trash and such. We still did have to do that in the middle of the winter weather, obviously. Other than that, that is about all that we really had to do with the worm bins. During this time, as I had kind of briefly stated, we didn't worry about feeding them. We just let them go into a dormancy period because you don't want to keep piling food in there because that food is just going to rot. And since they're not actively consuming the bio breakdown, it would just end up causing some mold and mildew issues, which could make your bins sick and could potentially kill your worms. So you don't want to do that during one of these. So contrary to what our natural inclination is we just kind of went hands off with them. There's a point where you prepare to, and then you just have to be willing to step back and let nature do its thing. And that's basically what we did. We had to go, okay, now we need to leave them alone. We don't mess with them. We don't open the tops unless we absolutely need to make sure that the moisture and the warmth stays, and call it good. So that's where our worm bins are at present. Guys, if you have any questions about worm farming, I am happy to help you to the best of my ability. I will put a few links to some other people who actually do worm farming. That is what they do. That is their specialty. They have information and classes and things that you can take from them. I'll put a link down below for you for that. But guys, as always, keep it simple, natural, and essential. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Subscribe.
Subscribe, like, comment, and share.